I love
I
that.
read your book and had the courage to do X. Thank you for writing your book. I did this, I said this, I went here, I did that, right? And thank you so much. Or this inspired me, or I saw you speak, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whenever you get something that can go in a folder, and you can of course keep a box of notes or letters or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do that. That's fantastic. So, you talk about another tool, and it is taking 100% responsibility.
Yep.
Tell us about why that's so powerful. How have you done that?
Well, how I did it was I made a decision. I made a decision that everything that happened to me was not happening to me, it was happening from me. And it was, if I took responsibility for anything that happened to me once I was the age of majority. So when you're a kid and someone does something, abuses you or takes advantage of you or whatever, like that's out of your control for the most part, right? You can't take responsibility for that. For the most part, you are at the whim of someone else. But once you reach the age of majority, everything you do is happening from you, not to you.
I like that idea. And that's another question, but there's probably like five more questions inside of that one.
Sure. When you take 100% responsibility, then what happens is from you, you recognize it's from you, and you can say, well, my ex-husband was a real piece of work. It's like, well, who chose him? Oh, don't. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then if you chose him, then it's all your responsibility. And it's not about taking the blame. It's not, I'm a victim. I take the blame. I'm beating myself up. It's like, it is what it is. Here's what I learned from it. Here's what I wouldn't do again. Here are
Right.
10 ways not to ever have that problem or pick that type of person again. Here's the work I need to do on myself. Here's why I'm awesome. Because he might have been this type of guy, but he wasn't that type of guy or that type of guy or that type of guy. Thank goodness, you know?
Yeah.
So it could have been worse. And here's where I want to go. And taking 100% responsibility the takes blame out of the equation, takes a lot of things that can really stop people in their tracks out of the situation. You're no longer blaming, you're no longer angry, you're no longer frustrated, you're no longer pointing fingers. You're just saying it is what it is. And here's what I would do differently next time. Here's what I will do differently next time.
Well, we talked a lot about that first. You said you suggest these two practices over everything else. We talked about the t-shirt, but we didn't get into in detail the attracting your ass off. But I actually think taking 100% responsibility flows right into that other piece. And so
Or
maybe now we can talk about like when you take 100% responsibility for everything, including attracting to you what you want. Some people don't feel like that's in their control either. Talk to me about that.
well, we're attracting things through what we say and through what we do and through what we think and through what we associate with. So when you take 100% responsibility, you're looking around and saying, these are all things that are as a result of me. So what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I saying? And
But Honore, what if something bad happens to me? Like really bad. Like what do you say? This is the biggest sticking point for this particular like law of attraction topic that I get in my healing world. They look at me and they go, "But yeah, but what if, am I going to take responsibility for this horrible tragedy?"
it is not what happens to you, it's what you make of it.
Right.
So, no, are you responsible for the tragedy? No, but you can take the responsibility for how you handle the tragedy.
So it's really how you respond to the things happening to you in
Yeah.
your life.
You can respond or you can react. You can have a reaction, right? Or you can change your perception and you can change your procedure, right? You can say, that person never called me back. I must be a horrible person. Or you can say, that person never called me back. They must be busy. Maybe they won the lottery, right?
Nice.
I must not have been the right person. You can shift everything. It's part of the four agreements, right? Never take anything personally. Part of that is that person's, it's so odd. It's kind of like I had reached out to someone and reached out to someone and reached out to someone. And then when I finally did talk to them, they said, oh, my spouse is stepping out on me and I'm a mess. And I just can't even.
Yeah.
But there was a short period of time where I was like, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that? Like, everything was rolling along just fine. And then ghost off the map.
Yeah, we tend to do a lot of blaming in those instances, and that's a reaction. So if I want to attract these 5 things into my life, whatever they are,
Yes.
you devote a lot of pages to authenticity and also to gratitude, 2 of my very favorite practices in this realm. And I think those practices are exactly how we attract our ass off.
Yep. Me
Yes.
too. Yep.
So what else about that? Like give me the way that you use that you're actually inside of the practices every day.
So gratitude, we'll start with gratitude. Being grateful and expressing gratitude. It's somewhat, if you like someone, like tell your face. Right? Like, smile, be grateful, say thank you, send a thank you note, send a thank you gift, see what you can do to make someone's day, figure out what their love language is and speak to them in their love language. Be grateful for every day above ground, even shift your perception of, being alive. Oh, it's not another day. Another day at the office. It's like every day above ground is a great day. I'm grateful to be above ground.
That's
right. So gratitude.
That's a good one. I'm going to rewind on that again one more time for everybody. Shift your perception of being alive.
Yes.
Yes.
There's people that are not, right? If you're upset about turning a certain age, some people didn't make it that far. Some people didn't have the luxury. Like, I'm going to be 50 in 2 years. If I make it to 50, I'm assuming I'm going to make it to 50, but every day I'm grateful that I'm here.
So part of your authentic you is being inside of gratitude every day.
Every day. Yep. I send notes. I'm looking at a box of notes right here that are always on my desk so that I can just drop a note in the mail to someone and just say, hey, I'm grateful for you. I hope you're having a great day. I'm thinking of you. Or thank you for the thing at the place with the people.
So what other practices? What do you add to that to make it a little bit more, to up level it a little bit?
My personal rule that I have not written about this yet, but I have a personal rule I developed in my early 20s, and that is to always leave everything and everyone better than I found them. My goal. So when I go into a restroom, and it's a mess, like a public restroom, I don't have cleaning supplies, but I'll just kind of wipe down the sink. And if there's, people are crazy sometimes with how they leave public places. It's a little interesting. It's very interesting to me, how their homes must be. If this is how they live in the world, like how are their homes? But I'll just straighten it up a little bit. Yesterday I was out shopping with my family, and then all of a sudden I disappeared and they came after me and they're like, what are you doing? And I said, well, there was a backpack on the floor in the aisle. I just picked it up and hung it back up. Like, I just have an eye for being able to leave the world a little better place. That's my goal. And that's my way of putting gratitude into the world. I have the ability to do that. That's my authentic self. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And it's awesome because what I think I've realized is it's a different level of human being who actually thinks about those things, but then who does them. So a lot of us may walk around thinking about all this stuff, but we don't actually do it. We don't get ourselves to do it for whatever reason. It's hard to understand. But those little things are everything. Those little things are big things, especially everything in the realm of gratitude. Oh my gosh, I think gratitude, if that was maybe the one practice we taught, it would be enough some days.
Yes. Well, I'm very funny. Like my daughter even laughs at me because I thank my car. I'm like,
Yes, I do
you're
too.
pretty. I thank you for getting home safely. And I rub the
Yes.
dash, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, mom, crazy." And I'm like, "Listen, like there's some people who got in their last car ride today. I didn't want this to be my last car ride. I'm gonna bless my car, right? I believe in the power of blessings. I'm blessing my car. I'm blessing the other drivers. I just think that that's it's kind of a fun, more positive way to live than other options. That's it.
Yes.
There's, it's not my way or is the only way. It's like this is the way that works for me, and that's part of being authentic. Is you can listen to me blessing my car and rubbing the dash and think she is completely certifiable. We are going to send help immediately, and that's totally fine. I would never do that in a million years, but we're going to get her some help, right? Or you can think, what could I do? What's my practice? And one of my girlfriends is a teacher, and she said this year I was like, some of the other teachers are just cranky, and they're cranky because they're coming back to school. So she went to Target and she bought little gifts, like little bubbles and little erasers and like just little gifts, and just left a little note like, here's to a good year. I got you a little something. And she's like, I didn't spend more than $1 a person. She's like, but it really just was a surprise to some people that I would take a minute and leave a little note on their desk. It's just little, it doesn't have to be, by all means, if someone is like, Honoree, we know you want a Bentley Continental. We know you want one. And so we are sending one to you. Here you go. Let us know what the tax consequence is. We'll handle it. Right? Right?
I love
it. It
it.
doesn't have to be that.
No.
Sometimes it's not a thing. I'm actually not a thing person. Although I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no to the Bentley. I saw one yesterday. It was beautiful. But it's funny because I was going through a little bit of a rough time with the story I told earlier about my daughter. And so one of my business partners was like, is there anything I can do for you? And I was like, send chocolate. And so the next thing I know, there were 6 Hershey's dark chocolate bars tied up with a satin bow, like that was FedEx to me. And it's like, I didn't know if you were kidding or serious. So there you go.
It's just way more fun to live like this.
Gosh.
So
fun.
yeah.
So fun.
Oh my gosh.
To live in the practice of being grateful, being joyful, being thankful, and showing it. And then, and I talk about this in the book too, which is it's so much more fun to give than to receive when you get in the habit of it.
Oh yeah.
Like all year long, I'm making my daughter's Christmas gift all year long. Like she said yesterday, I really want one of these. We were in a store and she's like, I want one of these. And I was like, noted. Right. And then at Christmas, she'll go, how did you even remember I wanted this? And I was like, well, I wrote it down.
Because moms are magical that way.
And then I consulted my list as we got closer, and then it came while you were away, and I wrapped it and put it in the closet. I've had it for 6 months. I actually forgot I got it for you, so we're both celebrating the surprise right now. It's fantastic.
Well, Honoree, I predicted that I would be at the end of the hour and totally like pouting about not having another hour to talk to you, and here we are. So I am going to wrap up by
no pouting.
I'm like, we need to do it again.
No pouting.
No pouting.
You are trying fucking hard. There's no pouting. No pouting.
So you guys find Honoree at honoreecorder.com. Go on to the Prosperous Writers Mastermind on Facebook. Go on to Amazon and type in her name, and you're going to find her all over the place. Also, the free gift she has for you is at / remind me, Honoree, oh my
Tall
goodness.
Order.
Thank you. Tall Order. Thank you. I was doing a little too much scrolling there. And a lot of you know I like to finish my shows with a poem, and I have a super sweet short one for you guys today. So here it goes. It's called Joy Spills Out. About to crack wide open, anticipating the fruit of love, sweet juices sending chills up my spine. Pressing into the flesh, joy spills out. Dripping down my chin, a wave of laughter released with the mess, and I go in for another bite. And that is it for that one. Honoree, thank you so much for being here. I really, really enjoyed that conversation, and I know my listeners are going to get so much out of it. And To all of my brave healers out there, are you ready to start sharing your messages with the world in a bigger way? Please take advantage of grabbing a free fire starter call with me. You're going to find it at the top of bravehealer.com. Come 2 Wednesdays from now as well, when the next Brave Healer conversation is going to be with Trilby Johnson, another